All right. So, Kristan,
It's gamer
actually,
time.
I'll explain the game and then Kristan, you'll do the settings. So the game is basically a cooperative storytelling game where we're going to be drawing prompts from cards, and from those we're going to be telling a story together. We're trying to basically not make things too easy for a town that's surviving some sort of apocalyptic scenario. And the main interaction with the game is drawing a map. So I'm going to be working on the map throughout the game. Kristan, do you want to introduce our community in the situation we're in?
All right, so here's the situation. In a small iron mining town, in another world, not unlike our own, with technological development analogous to mid 1800s Earth, the world has ended. One day, in early spring, supplies, visitors, and new workers stopped arriving, and people who left town to investigate never returned. Soon after, the townsfolk woke to an incredible sound and discovered that the mountain faces abiding the town had crumbled, revealing two enormous statues. From one of the statues' eyes fell clean cold water, from the other flaming tar. Nearby the town is also a fantastically large oak tree that the villagers guess to be over 1,000 years old, a sloping hillside on which sits an unmarked grave, and finally a wide salt flat, the surface of which is brought to a mirror sheen by mountain runoff. The people of the town are well stocked, though they have an abundance of unusual green glowing stones, but lack oil and cattle, with a further shortage of collective expertise in the areas outside of digging up metal ore.
Alrighty. So the way that the game works is we are going to draw the cards and basically try our best not to interfere with each other. And we'll kind of explain it as it goes. I think, let's go in the order we showed up in chat. So I'll go first, followed by Sean. Travis and Kristan showed up at about the same time. Which one was first?
Who's older?
Well,
Travis.
I know I was first.
You were first?
Yes.
Okay, so Travis, then Kristan. So Kristan, do you want to draw a card for... Actually, Sean got here first. Do you want to draw a card for Sean?
Alrighty. The first card, the Nine of Hearts. A charismatic young girl convinces many to help her with an elaborate scheme. What is it? Who joins her endeavors? Start a project to reflect, or a charismatic young girl tries to tempt many into sinful or dangerous activity. Why does she do this? How does the community respond?
All right, so the girl is going to try to get people together to pool various bits of knowledge and expertise to try to increase our expertise rating.
Okay.
Because there is a number of books in the town that haven't really been like most of the population probably isn't literate, so they haven't really been used. There's a bunch of people who just have various very eclectic knowledge that on its own isn't particularly useful, potentially put together might be. So trying to organize essentially a skill sharing sort of operation, along with using books.
All right. So I'm going to represent that with a little book off of the side. How many turns, each turn being a week, is this project going to take?
I'd say probably 3 weeks.
3 weeks? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Then we tick down any projects. I don't think we tick down this one because it just started this turn.
Yeah.
And then you get your choice of starting a new project, making a discovery. The discovery can't fix problems. Or hosting a discussion.
Wait, so, I want to... Okay, so people aren't coming back from the roads. I would say start a project to move material up onto the mountain, as well as basically constructing from a variety of sort of ground glass, which is normally used for inspecting minerals, and creating a telescope to try to see further off into the distance.
On the mountain.
Yes.
Okay.
Using a variety of geological tools.
I'm going to assume the mountain that cries water, not
that would make
sense.
I mean, everything could be either. I mean, flaming tower isn't. I mean, well, you don't want to breathe it, but
pleasant to be around for sure. Would be.
I think I'd rather be around a nice, cool stream than the flaming tar pit. Yes, given the choice.
Okay, how many weeks do you think it's going to take to build a telescope on the mountain?
Oh,
that cries?
6.
6? I think that's absolutely fair.
I mean, they're using improvised materials. They don't have like professional expertise in optics, but it's not entirely outside the realm of feasible.
Actually, so since we don't have expertise, I think it makes a lot of sense that it takes 6 because they're not gonna be doing much other than hauling up supplies until the book project's done.
Those sort of synergize.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I like that idea a lot. All right. I was the next to arrive, so draw me a card, Kristan.
Alrighty. The Six of Hearts. Are there children in the community? If there are, what is their role in the community? Or, how old are the eldest members of the community, and what unique needs do they have?
I think this is a fairly new town. It's an 1800s mining town. It was set up because of discovering resources. So I think there's not a lot of elderly people because workers came in, but they wanted the town to thrive. So people definitely did have kids when they got here. So there are children. And I think the children, their role was mostly just like, it's 1800s. So I think they just work. I think the kids just do jobs. I think the kids are in the mines. That's simple. This is a time I'm going to bring up. There's a mechanic in this game called contempt tokens. If anyone doesn't like that I'm putting children in the mines, they can say they're taking a point of contempt, and I'll mark it on the board. And at the end of the game, we look at how many points of contempt, and it kind of shows how often did someone do something that the other players found disagreeable.
I mean, I don't really like children in the probably uranium mines, but I can't say it's not fitting.
I mean, same. That's the kind of my stance. Is as much as I don't like it, it fits though. It checks out.
All right, so we're not going to mark contempt for me putting children in the mines. I guess I'll just I'll get this child in the mines going over here. We're putting kids to work. They are in the mines. It's an 1800s mining town. That's the situation we're in. He's got a little pickaxe. Look at him. Okay, so after that, we tick down the project. So that goes to 2. The 6 goes to 5. And I am going to choose to start a project to work on the scarcity of cattle. I think before things were shut down, there was a lot of free-ranging like ranches just south of here. So there is a rancher's expedition to venture south just a little bit to try not to have whatever makes people disappear happen and see if they can find some cattle. So you're not allowed to solve a problem with a discovery, but because projects take time and cards can interrupt them, you are allowed to try to solve a scarcity or a problem with a project. So my project is going to be I'm going to say a 3-week endeavor to head south and see if any cattle are still around from the ranch. So that's going to be a 3-week project. Next is Travis's turn.
All right. Travis, you've drawn the Ace of Hearts. What group has the highest status in the community? What must people do to gain inclusion in this group? Or are there distinct family units in the community? If so, what family structures are common?
We'll say the strongest family is the family that runs the cattle, just because that's if not only primary food source, and people need food to live.
That's usually
funny enough. So there is one family that owns the majority of the cattle, if not all of them. Maybe there's 1 or 2 families that own like a cow, but they pay some sort of tax to the family who owns all the cattle. So yeah, that is the most prominent family, is the cattle family, and their last name is actually Cattle. Yeah, the cattle family who own the cattle.
Because somehow they have a monopoly license.
They I mean, right now they do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The ranchers have vanished in the whatever happened. They're the only ones with cattle left.
Yep. So yeah, is that the entire card?
Yeah.
That is the entire
Cool,
card.
great. Let's.
So now we tick down the projects. We're 1 away from
Oh yeah,
the book.
sorry. How would you enter that elite group? I guess marriage.
Oh, right.
Oh, yeah, that's part of
How
the
would you
card.
I forgot about that.
We all did,
You would
except Sean.
enter it. You would enter that family either through marriage, or you'd be considered an extended part of that family if they gave you a cow. So it'd
Ooh.
be like if you owned a cow, it was a symbol that you were part of the cattle family.
So this is like becomes a mafia, kind of.
Yeah, a mufia, if you will.
I shall not.
Oh, that got me way more than it should.
Yeah. So that's so the only people that own cattle are part of the cattle family.
Put a little minus next to cow, but I'm gonna put a crown on the cattle family house to represent their status.
Great. Cool. So yeah, that's how you become part of the family. The way that Yeah, cool. So next is either a project or a discussion.
Project, discussion, or discovery.
Discovery. And a discovery can't solve a problem. Yeah.
It can complicate things, it can make things more interesting, it can introduce a mystery, but it can't solve a problem.
Interesting. So we've established the crying. The discovery is they have found specks of shiny rocks. So not gold per se, but just specks of shiny rocks that have been starting to come out of this, because it's the statue that's where the water's coming from, yeah? Or is it just the
Yeah, the water's coming from the eyes of the statue. So there's shiny
Yeah,
rocks
so
now. It coming
so
from the
so yeah. So the statue is now emitting shiny rocks.
no, these aren't glowy rocks.
No, they're not glowy rocks, they're shiny rocks. There is a
Understand.
difference.
Very different. All right. I like it.
All right.
Kristan, draw a card for Kristan.
The Queen of Hearts. What is the most beautiful thing in this area, or what is the most hideous thing in this area? I think the most beautiful thing in this area are around the edges of the salt flats, as it's been 4 weeks.
Yeah.
So I think every time the water floods and then dries on the salt flats, around the edge of the salt flats, huge glassy salt crystals are starting to grow. And they're growing about a foot every week. They're about 4 feet high at this point, but you can tell they're beautiful and shiny, and they glitter in the sun, and they just keep getting bigger.
That's really lovely. I'm sure it won't cause a problem and be difficult in the future, and it's just good.
Just good. Like all sharp crystalline things, just good.
Yeah. I ain't never heard of a kidney stone.
And then I guess that's me for the card.
Yeah, so we're gonna tick down projects, and the project to teach people how to read the old books is finished. Sean.
All right, so I decide how that went.
Yeah.
All right. Most of the knowledge turned out to only be of like dubious utility. It would increase our so our expertise is currently scarce, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it actually wouldn't make it abundant.
Okay.
Though they did happen to find a book explaining sort of very elementary physics and all the new happenings of the university of a far off land. And it happened to include some work on modern optics.
Okay.
And I would say that is going to decrease the time for the telescope project by 1 week.
All right, so it only has 2 more weeks now. I like that as a result. I think that's the only one that finished. So, Kristan, would you like to make a discovery, a discussion, or a project?
I'm going to make a discovery.
All right. What's the
Um,
discovery?
Someone finds a stone staircase carved into the flaming tar mountain.
Oh no, I haven't even drawn the Flaming Tar Mountain, and now it has a staircase. Is it near the Flaming Tar, or is it not?
It winds under and around the flaming tar cascade.
Oh my god. Okay. That is a staircase that I would not love to climb, if I'm being as honest as possible.
I believe you.
All right. Flaming Tar staircase has been added to the map. We are back to Sean.
All right, draw that card.
3 of hearts. Someone new arrives. Who? Or 2 of the community's younger members get into a fight. What provoked them?
All right. I think it's going to be somebody new in town. I think that on the exploration down to the free-range cattle, they actually stumbled across somebody. Though he basically tells unusual stories of strange weather patterns and pretty much says that claims that most of the roads are just like after a certain point they're just gone. It's as though natural erosion has been accelerated by 1,000 times what would be normal. And he
Okay.
dares not have ever gone past that sort of where the trails and I guess roads suddenly degrade.
So there's just a place
A
where the
random
roads
rancher.
end.
Yep. He's telling stories of where the roads and
Yeah. I think he's sitting down by a campfire telling his stories.
yeah, and he comes back to town. And yeah, he's pretty distraught. His entire family were past where the roads are no longer, and he's hoping to at least have some people to commiserate with.
Okay. The Ranger and the story of the ending roads have been added. We took down projects. The cattle project has ended. I'm gonna say, I don't, I don't think we get an abundance of cattle just from this one project, but what we do get is they find a bull. It's strangely docile and easy to lure back, but it is just a large jet black bull that they find.
Hmm.
And it's just a good buddy. It's not very aggressive, which is weird. And they're hoping maybe they can breed some more cows.
Actually, get some genetic diversity in their cattle population because they probably would have had a bull, maybe 2. Now they got 3.
I got 3. I got this little guy. He's a good friend. We tick down. We're 1 week away now from the telescope project.
Discovery, right?
Yeah. So
Okay. I'm going to say that deep within the mines underneath the Tiri Mountain,
Yep.
They find a further staircase, this one going down,
Ooh.
deep underneath the mountain.
Oh shit! How do I draw downstairs? I guess just yeah. I got it. It's just simple. This. There we go. There's a staircase going down within the mines. Will the child miners be willing to risk it?
Will they install a handrail?
All right. That's a good discovery. I like it. Kristan, draw me a card.
7 of hearts. The 7 of hearts. Where does everyone sleep? Who is unhappy with this arrangement and why? Or what natural predators roam this area? Are you safe?
Natural predators. Lions.
Jesus.
You know how most areas in the world used to have lions before humans showed up? This is another world. We didn't eradicate the lions when we went everywhere. There are lions. We are not safe. They do like to eat people. The lions could be a threat at any moment. They are always watching. The only thing that keeps us safe is the fact that being lions and not mountain lions, they don't like going into the mountains. So generally, that area is safe, but they are willing to hunt in the forest, not just the open areas here. And they're pack hunting big cats, and that's fucking scary.
So they're like for so folks can get like a understanding. They're like what we would think of as wolves, but just lions instead.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Wolves pose less of a threat to humans because they're like, these fuckers, I don't know, I don't care. This is too much effort. We're lazy hunters who just want to bite someone's ankles and let them bleed to death. Lions, they'll fuck up a human easy because their whole thing is going for vital points and stealthing, and instead of like just relying on trickery, they do trickery and crushing your spine in a single bite, and they will do that to us. They're willing to.
Tigers.
They've done it before.
They're tigers who hunt in packs.
Yeah, they're tigers who hunt in packs.
Terrifying.
Yeah,
Terrifying.
there's the reason humans wipe them out almost everywhere we go.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, lions is the answer.
There are lions. We are not safe. What a statement.
The telescope finishes. Sean, how does that resolve?
All right. So, off in the distance, it just seems as though the horizon ends in solid black clouds, pouring endless buckets of rain. It's about 5 or 6 miles away from town that this happens, and it's almost impossible to see anything through the unceasing storm past it.
Glad we figured out optics so we can know about the horrific storm.
Moody.
Look, you read a science magazine from something analogous to Paris, and then all of a sudden you build a telescope, and then all of a sudden it's just the infinite storm, and you're like, damn.
You know, makes sense to me. That checks out. This is good reasoning. Yeah. I'm gonna host a discussion. You may recognize me as a member of the Tristan, what are they called? What are the cattle people called? Travis?
Cattle.
They're the cattle. They're the family cattle.
The cattle family.
That's
Okay.
their family.
You
name.
might recognize
Cattle
me as a patriarch of the cattle family, and we have a great announcement to make. Now, we know how much everyone loves glowy rock. We have a new product that some of our cows have started producing, glowy milk. Please discuss. Everybody take a turn making a response in any order to this statement that I've made for a group discussion.
My name's-
Hi, I'm. Oh, sorry. You
ahead,
can
go
go
ahead.
first. Okay. Hi. My name is Charisse, and I am the head of Moms Against Children in Mines. But we need them there anyway. I don't know what the acronym is. It's a long name. Anyways, my concern is how do we know that this is safe for our children?
It is.
That's my concern.
Who's next?
I drank some glowing milk. My fingernails are stronger than ever.
My name's Blastin' Bart. I'm a demolitions expert, and I've been crushing up the glowy rocks and putting in my milk for years. You ain't done nothing special.
All right, that's the discussion. Travis's turn.
Beautiful town discussion.
All right, two
Cool.
of parts.
2 words.
There's a large body of water on the map. Where is it? What does it look like? Or there's a giant man-made structure on the map. Where is it? Why is it abandoned?
Ooh.
We already have some of those. You're just gonna be
okay.
adding more.
Yeah. Okay. So, in the field of lions,
Lion field.
There is a giant 1800. So let's go castle. There is like a giant abandoned castle. I mean, it's pretty obvious why it's abandoned. It is surrounded by lions. Um,
Dracula versus lions, a matchup I didn't think I needed to see.
and
The lions
yeah,
have
so it's an
death.
abandoned castle, and it's a giant castle that's been, many monarchs assumedly have reigned from there. The rich have made their homes there, but alas, the lions were too strong and had forced whomever was living there to stop living there. Because, for one, they couldn't leave their castle without being mauled by lions.
Oh
Wait,
my
wait,
god.
was the castle built in response to the lions to keep them out? And then people realized that was a bad idea, or
So the castle was built when the lion population wasn't at the peak that it is now. And so they didn't deal with the lions because they thought the lions were beautiful creatures. And then they just didn't do anything until the lions got too many lions.
A
I see.
story of hubris, really.
Yeah.
a powerful allegory for climate change.
Oh god, that's
You could say they were too prideful, so they didn't.
wow.
They just kept lying around. Yeah.
Wow. Can I take an opposite of a contempt token?
I take a contempt token to counter your opposite of contempt.
Okay.
Can I take a contempt token on myself for that one?
No, you're not allowed to contempt yourself. Only self-love in this game.
Yeah.
Okay, so we advance projects. I don't think we have any ongoing. So, Travis, do you want to start a project, make a discovery, or host a discussion?
Now we're starting a project, and the project is going up all of those stairs up the fire tar mountain.
Okay. Are we sending children?
Yes. Damn. So we're sending our bravest and strongest children to go up the stairs of the fire tar mountain.
So, moms against children in mines when we need them anyways, or Makimbwanta for short, I have decided that instead of sending them into the mines, we should send them up the tar mountain.
Yeah, at least we can see them.
Oh god, Will, you're right. Castle Too Many Lions. That's the name.
Yeah, Castle. Yeah, so I think that project, since they are children, will take a while. Hopefully no Lord of the Fly things happen, but we'll see. We're gonna give that project a solid 6 weeks. I feel like a month and a half should be enough time for those kids to get up those
Oh
stairs.
my god. We're giving these kids some time. Hopefully they can make it.
Yeah.
How are you packing them with 6 weeks worth of food? What are we giving these children?
Well, part of the project is probably getting the supplies.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so not just having them eat the glowy rocks and run on uranium.
Uranium-powered children. Let's go.
I mean, when you think about it, calories per gram of uranium it's pretty high.
It's pretty. If you could digest it, you'd be unstoppable.
If you had a microfission reactor in you, yeah.
Yeah.
How do you know these children don't?
He's got a point. We don't know until we try.
Truly.
Yeah.
I love Castle Too Many Lions. All right.
Yeah.
So that is Travis's turn, which makes it Kristan's turn.
All right. The Jack of Hearts. You see a good omen. What is it? Or you see a bad omen. What is it? One afternoon, the all the townsfolk are caring for cattle. They look up at the old unmarked grave hill, which which is what they rather uncreatively named the hill with the unmarked grave.
Damn.
And they see a tall man in a broad-brimmed hat, wearing a long, dark coat, and he just points at the town, and then disappears.
Clearly a good omen, right?
Pretty good. Probably pretty good omen.
Advance the project. It's only going to take 5 more weeks for the children to make it up the Flaming Tar Mountain. Kristan, discovery, project, or discussion?
I'm going to make a discovery. There's a big hole in the side of the abandoned castle, and the lions are living in it now.
This is truly
Yeah.
Too Many Lions Castle.
I think as a result, lions no longer live on the plains. They only live in the castle.
Damn, they've grown soft.
Yes.
Do
Soon
they
they're
come out to
unpackable
hunt, or are
crumble.
there animals in the castle?
Wait,
No.
could the lions be herding animals into the castle?
The castle's getting louder every day.
Oh my god.
Yes.
This is... I'm sure at some point we'll find an explanation. Maybe the uranium gave them super intelligence. They ate enough glowing cows that they've developed a new brain power.
Yeah.
Look, radiation just increases mutation rate, and the odds of hyperintelligence developing as a mutation thus increases. It's just simple science.
Simple science.
I'm a scientist.
This man's a scientist. If he says it's science, it's science. Look, between us, we have a scientist and a scientist. Travis, you did training for theater, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then 2 people who've gone to school for writing. I feel like we can tell a great science fiction story between all of us.
100%.
We've got all the requisite components. Science, fiction, drama. All right.
And most importantly, lions.
I wish we had less.
I love
Man
this.
with 1,000 lion faces.
Yeah, for anyone just joining us, this is a story where lions own a castle, so it's kind of the best ever, actually.
And there are children in the mines and in the tar mountain.
All right, who is next up?
Top of the turn, isn't it?
It is Sean.
Yeah.
Aw, beans.
Oh.
Okay, card me.
You get an 8 of hearts. An old piece of machinery is discovered, broken, but perhaps repairable. What is it, and what would it be useful for? Or, an old piece of machinery is discovered, cursed and dangerous. How does the community destroy it?
Oh my god.
All right. Clunking up from down beneath the bowels of the earth, up the stairway in the crying mountain,
Okay.
comes a very simplistic motorbike driving itself up the stairs.
Haunted motorbike?
Oh no.
Is this haunted and cursed and must be destroyed, or is this repairable?
So far, it both the wheels are punctured, but they are technically repairable.
Does
Oh
it
my
glow
God.
green? With the fire?
It does not.
No? Aberrant.
We only like things that glow green in this community.
Wait, does it shine or glow? Two very.
The rocks glow. They just sort of faintly glow in the dark.
Mhm.
Yeah. All right. Tick down projects. We only got 4 more weeks until the children get to the top of Tar Mountain.
Great.
All right, discovery time.
Yeah. Discovery, project, or discussion.
A distant drumbeat is heard coming from deep within the mountain staircase.
Oh my god, so much going on there.
At first, it seems as though it's entirely random, but after spending some time listening to it, it appears as though there's a pattern that repeats about every 5 minutes.
Damn, I like it.
Speak the subterranean mountain bikes.
I love how eldritch this game becomes so quickly, because when you combine four people's imaginations, it feels unhinged inherently.
Look, so far the most unhinged thing is sending children up the flaming mountain.
Um,
All right. So I guess it's my turn.
The Four of Hearts.
The Four of Hearts.
What important and basic tools does the community lack? Or, where are you storing your food? Why is this a risky place to store things?
Should I make it so that we store it in like a house with a lion-shaped door?
Should have seen this happening.
Uh,
Seen this coming.
basic tools we are lacking. I think this town relied a lot on people coming here to as traveling engineers to maintain mining technology. And I think we don't have the manuals or tools to properly maintain mining technology.
Yeah, all we got is Blastin' Bert.
We just got Blastin' Bert, and he's running out of blasting.
Yeah. And then what will he have as an identity? He'll just be Bert.
You know, maybe it's okay to be Bert. Bert, you ever think about trying to come to terms with who you are?
Nope, keep blasting.
All right, so that's what I'm gonna do. We're gonna tick down the Children Up the Fire Mountain project. We are sending children up the Flaming Mountain in this in this town. So that is only going to take 3 weeks now. And I'm going to start a project. We got to address, we've had 3 scarcities the entire game. I feel like the town is not doing well. So we are going to be attempting medical experiments with the intent of discovering how to do some better medicine. Want to learn how to treat injuries better, and we're going to be looking for volunteers to be studied upon. So I'm going to draw a little nice looking normal doctor. Just a normal doctor, and he's going to need 5 weeks to do his experiments. Yeah. All right. After me, it is Trav's turn.
All right, Travis, you got the King of Hearts.
That's
A young boy starts digging in the ground and discovers something unexpected. What is it? Or an old man confesses to past crimes and atrocities. What has he done?
Oh no.
Big fan of atrocities, honestly.
I know which one you picked, and
Yeah.
you got it.
Oh, okay. So, an old man, not the patriarch of the cattle family, but his father, essentially, who's too old and like an enfeebled to like take control of the business, um, holds a meeting,
Okay.
and he says, I'm sure you're all wondering why there are many staircases appearing, and why lions now rule the Too Many Lions castle. And it is because in order for our the glowy rocks that we all enjoy and eat in our food and milk, I had to make a deal with an abomination that I shall not speak of, but lies at the bottom of the stairs that I tried to bury. and because of that, I have not made my end of the bargain. So they have come to collect, is what he says.
Okay. Ominous.
Is that why the motorbike is here? Is it a debt collector?
We can only ask stuff in discussion.
Oh,
Someone's
sorry,
got to
yeah,
host a
you're right,
discussion.
you're right.
Yep. So so that's what happens. That's what this old man confesses.
All right.
For a a discovery, just as the old man is talking about, actually, what reason? Okay, hold on. They're not doing so good on oil. Is that the resource we're not
Oh,
abundant
we
in?
have nothing but glowy rocks to our name, man.
Great. We we definitely need the townsfolk get a little wary, and so they start the patriarch of the cattle families kind of like, oh, come on, Dad, why did you? That's been a family secret for so long, and he.
Oh, did he cut out or did I cut out?
I think he
You're
cut
still talking to me, yeah. I think you
Okay.
got out.
Travis, the statement was so powerful it has destroyed him.
Oh no.
A fleet of cursed motor vehicles, Air has suggested. Possible. When did motorbikes get designed? Like, when were they made?
Oh, like 1910s.
Okay. So is this
Look,
a
if this
world
was
that-
set in, sorry, if this was set in the actual 1800s, a lot of the technology mentioned, I think, would be at least a little bit anachronistic.
Yeah.
But I mean, we have probably sentient lions, intelligent lions.
We have lions who have figured shit out.
We also have flaming tar face.
Yeah, Will is suggesting that that they were first built in 300 BC. That makes sense for motorcycles.
I think we'd have much better motorcycles by now if that were the case.
Think about
No, they just peaked.
Yeah, they peaked then. Kristan, think about it. We only like a few years ago discovered why Roman concrete's so good.
It's true.
Actually, no, wait, we thought we did, but then we discovered we hadn't actually discovered it, and then finally figured out, like, last year, why it actually even better than we thought. Maybe we'll have another discover where, like, turns out there's another cool thing about Roman concrete.
Soon we will
Why we
discover
also-
why Alexander the Great's motorcycle fleet was so awesome.
It turns out the secret was gayer soldiers.
Ah,
Damn, he gone.
yeah.
Does he know he gone?
Huh?
He might not know.
Trav? Oh, his name is not Trav. Oh, okay. Oh no. Oh no, where is he gone? Well, do we want to keep going and hope he returns?
I think that's probably the best bet because we don't know when it will be back. Oh, unless
Okay,
it's back right
yes,
now. Oh, yeah. Hey!
I'm back.
Hello.
My Discord went full. Like I left the call, but it didn't show that I left the call, so it went full work.
Yeah, that'll do that.
And as I had to restart Discord, and took a little bit. Cool. So basically, the patriarch of the cattle family wants to start a cattle breeding program
Okay. I like it.
to increase the number of cattle, and it's going to take 6 weeks.
That makes sense. It's going to take a while.
Should take more, but I think the max is 6 weeks.
It is.
You can do it in stages.
Oh, yeah.
Sure.
Cattle breeding, step 1, baby cattle.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, to get baby cows. Cool.
Cool.
Gotta make the fire goddess look less ugly. I have not put much time into her. All right. So let's tick down some clocks. Tick that one down. The doctor's experiments are ticking down. Tick down the cattle breeding just started. Yeah.
Okay.
Kristen's turn.
10 of hearts.
10 of hearts.
There's another community somewhere on the map. Where are they? What sets them apart from you? Or what belief or practice helps to unify your community? Well, I mean, I'm just going to say that the lions run up a flag, and that's their community.
Hey, but what sets us apart from them?
We are not lions.
Okay, that'll do it, I guess. I find this so amusing.
He's not wrong. I just hate it.
Yeah. I guess that's the other community on the map, is the lions have become sentient and have a flag now.
I'm going to start a discussion.
Okay.
My name is Jebediah Cattle, and I really think we should declare war on these new lions. This lion nation state.
Yeah, I gotta be real. I think we should kill your fucking uncle before we do anything else. He done cursed the town. Probably why the dark clouds ate the roads.
I believe it is unreasonable to suspect the man of being behind the dark clouds. The lions, on the other hand, it's possible. They already are showing a variety of unnatural powers.
Hi, yeah, I'm Timmy Cattle, and what my great uncle has done, kind of screwed up. I get it, but that's not like the pressing issue. I think literally the literal army of lions that have built their own castle seems to be the more aggressive issue at this point.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that does it for that one. I didn't take down the projects. Let's take down the projects. 1 week till the children get to the top and we find out what they discover. Kristan, what do you got for us? Project, discussion. Oh, wait. No, you did a discussion. That was it. I just didn't take down the projects. My God. Okay.
All right.
It's Sean's turn.
Sean, you get the 5 of hearts. There is a disquieting legend about this place. What is it? Or alarming weather patterns destroy something. How and what?
All right. I think that the alarming weather patterns should repeatedly strike, storm cloud itself starts to move in, but almost in a focused, pointed way, like it's actually reaching out. And at the absolute edge of the storm cloud, it repeatedly strikes the unmarked grave with lightning until there is nothing left but blasted rock and burnt grass.
That's fucking badass. Metal as fuck, honestly. All right.
Right. What was the second part of the turn? Like after that?
Was there anything else to that prompt, or are we on to the clocks?
No, it's clocks. Yeah, right.
All right. So the
Children time.
The children get to the top of the fire, or at least their project completes. How does that go, Travis?
So, it took 3 weeks to get them supplies enough to make it up to the top. And throughout their climb, they did lose a few members. A few slipped into the black tar. And they get to the top. And from the top, they essentially they see what they saw on the other mountain with the telescope and like the dark clouds coming, but they they discover a pool right at the very tippy top of like the crown of the head, a fresh water pool that looks like it's being fed by like a wellspring. Sorry,
So there's a
but it's
spring of water on the top of the fire mountain. Is it? So it's a hot spring, probably.
yes, it's a hot spring. Yes.
Ooh. Well, that's cool.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Good job, children.
Should children be a resource?
I don't think you're supposed to add resources, but we are kind of treating them like a resource, huh?
I think we have. I've played games where we've added resources.
All right. Fuck it. Yeah. No, we're gonna track children from now on. Children currently in abundance, or were in abundance.
Yeah.
I think. Do we have a scarcity of children after a few fell off, or was it not enough?
It was not enough for there to be a scarcity, but like we've got a lot of them in those mines. So
One Aaron, Twitch, and Kablooey.
yeah.
Only 2 weeks till our doctor's done. All right. After. Oh god, that was your clock. So now it's still Sean's turn, right? So Sean,
Yeah.
project discovery discussion.
What's a reasonable project? I think they want to actually move the telescope down the mountain, and they want to start using it to instead keep an eye on the lions, because frankly, they're significantly more afraid of the lions and their increasing organization than they are of the storm.
Looks like a couple people just rolled in. I'm gonna let everybody know. Sentient lions have taken over an abandoned castle, and now we are moving down our telescope, which for some reason I erased earlier, not sure why. We're moving our telescope down to the town so we can observe the sentient lions. Oh,
I've got to keep an eye on them. Sending a scouting party seems way too dangerous.
How many turns will this project be?
Just 2 weeks, honestly.
I feel like that's fair because we already built the dang thing. All right. So I guess my turn. Kristan, draw me a card.
All right. The cool breezes of spring have passed. Now the sweltering summer weather is upon us. Summer has arrived.
So every suit is a season, basically. And once we hit winter, the game can end at any moment, because the second the queen in winter is drawn, whoever drew it ends the game. For the better or the worse, depending their choice entirely. So Kristan, what's my first card in summer?
First card of summer is the 10 of Diamonds. You discover a cache of supplies or resources. Add a new abundance. Or a scarcity has gone unaddressed for too long. Start a project that will alleviate that scarcity.
Oh man, Isn't it funny if we find a cache of children?
We gotta unearth these children.
Straight up, children? Just a group of children come walking out of the woods.
Gotta say, that's some of those horror movie shit.
You know what? I'm going to follow the same rule. I'm not going to second guess it. I'm going to follow the same rule that I follow when I do my Dieselpunk drawing. This pedal has one direction and the direction's up. Can't take it back. I said it once, it's done now. This pedal goes up. A group of children come walking out of the woods one day.
Where are the resources marked on the map?
They're just kind of marked by them existing. So there's a minus by the book because we don't have knowledge. There's a minus by the oil because we don't have oil. There's a minus by the cow that got erased. So we don't have cows. But there's a pile of glowing rocks. I'll put a plus by it.
Yeah, uranium.
Yeah, and I'll put a plus by children because they are definitely in abundance because we just got like 8 new ones. I don't know why I'm drawing everyone else with white skin, but children with yellow skin.
I was gonna remark on that. They're the same color as the lions.
Does it mean something?
Raiders in waiting.
Okay. So a group of children come walking out of the woods, and we now have an abundance of children as a resource. Okay, tick down the projects. Doctor only needs 1 more week. Cow breeding step 1 takes 3 more weeks. Telescope takes 1 more week. And then Kristan, I'm going to start a project, which is we need to build weapons, but we don't have the oil to run the forges and machinery. So we need more oil. So the project is going to be, but we can't refine the tar into oil if we can't have expertise. So I think I'm going to make another experimentation project to get the information we need to get the oil we need to make the weapons to fight the lions. So this is step 1 is get knowledge. So we are going to start experimenting with tar. So I'm going to draw a tar scientist. And
Are we making flamethrowers?
Maybe. Or maybe the goal is just to be able to use it to run our machinery.
Mm.
And if we can't, to get an abundance of oil. If we can't do that, then maybe we make flamethrowers. So the tar scientist is going to spend 3 weeks trying to get the expertise he needs in order to successfully run our machinery with the tar. Well, hopefully successfully. All right, that's the end of my turn. So that would be Trav.
Alrighty. Trav, the Queen of Diamonds.
Queen shit.
A project finishes early. Which one and why? If there are no projects underway, boredom leads to a quarrel. A fight breaks out between 2 people. What is it about? But you don't have to worry about that one because we have projects.
No.
2 things are ending this round anyways, so it can't be one of them. So it can't be the telescope or the doctor. So it's either the tar scientist or the cow breeding.
I'm gonna say the tar scientist. He finishes early, because he discovers, and I don't care if this is science. He discovers because of the fresh water above. It's a fresh water source to cool the tar so that it's workable in like a machine. So you can just work with it right then and there. And he learns about the different properties that he's able to experiment because of the water as like a I don't know what you a constant in all the experiments with tar, and uses all the resources available to him granted by the discoveries from the children of the mountain when they were climbing up.
Okay.
So yeah,
I'm going to mark us as having an abundance of oil. We did it. We can run our machines again.
The machines that are breaking down because we don't have the experts to actually fix them.
Yeah.
But we do have a mysterious motorbike.
We have a mysterious motorbike. From our future
We also
portal
have
staircase.
we also have a kingdom of lions, so that's
Yeah, some more folks rolling in. We're fighting a kingdom of lions. It's important to know that. Anyways, we've a couple more projects to tick down, or 1 more project to tick down. The telescope is moved. How does that go? What's the result, Sean?
All right, so the telescope is moved into position in town, and all throughout, all day and night, at least one individual is keeping an eye on the lions, trying to figure out what they might be up to. It appears as though the lions are, as it stands, they seem to be making odd sort of scratches in the dirt and then inspecting them over and over. And it takes some time for the people with the telescope to figure out that the lions are attempting to draw a map of the town, its buildings, and then drawing various symbols on different buildings.
They're drawing fucking battle maps? The lions are making war plans?
Oh
The lions have developed small unit tactics. Fear.
no!
I love how I introduced lions because a card is like, make a predator, and now they become sentient, and they're doing war marshaling.
So good.
Oh my
Oh,
god.
man.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. Oh wait, tick down. I forgot that last time. So we tick that down to 1. Oh, I forgot to do the doctor last time, so I guess I'll do him now. It took longer than expected, is all. The doctor has given us an abundance of knowledge. He comes back from his medical experiments and says, "Well, good news, bad news. The bad news is they're all dead. Everyone has different accents. It's an immigrant town. Deal with it. They're all dead. All the people I studied, dead. But I have gained much in the way of knowledge. I can teach you many things." And some people have started spreading rumors that his experiments were not medical in nature and that there are strange occult markings in his laboratory. But he's opening his training center and he can now teach people how to do things.
Oh man.
Aw, jeez.
He knows all sorts of stuff that he didn't know now. Weird how it taught him physics, that he did medical experiments, but you know.
Very ambitious medical experiments.
Absolutely. Cutting edge research. It went well. It went very well, and come to school. Okay.
Right.
Travis.
Travis.
Wait, no, not Travis, because that was ticking down my thing. So it's was Sean's turn.
Yeah.
Me?
Wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
wait.
Sean did lines. It's Sean's turn
Yeah.
to project discovery or discussion.
Wait,
Alright.
hold on.
Oh,
What?
No,
wait.
I didn't, because hold on.
What?
Wasn't it mine? I'm lost.
That was Sean's turn because it was the lions digging scratches in the ground, making battle plans.
That was the end of the telescope project.
That was
Oh,
the
that
end
was
of the telescope.
It is Travis' turn. Oh my god, I got so lost.
Yeah.
You're right.
It's okay. It's the end of my turn I have to decide a... Okay, you know what? It's the only logical project. Because of our experts, you know what? Even though we have an abundance of them, I guess this won't go towards the experts. We will start we'll start creating military battle plans against the Lions. That's what we're going to start to do, and I think it's going to be a 3-week process of R&D and using the telescope to spy on the Lions and see what they're doing.
Okay. So we have a 3-week plan by the telescope and to develop battle tactics to fight the lions. And
Yep.
I need to say quick, he is not just medic from TF2. The medic from TF2 didn't do occult experiments. He did normal experiments. He's a different man.
Explicitly.
Okay. So that's your new project, is the war plans. So now, from Travis' turn, we go to Kristan. That's how it works.
Alrighty. Well, we're on the third week of summer. I thought I went last. Did we miss someone?
We might have skipped someone at some point. I say, let's not worry about it.
Let's not worry about it.
I was wondering that too earlier when I got the first card of summer instead of Sean, but it just means we skipped someone at one point, but we haven't noticed, so maybe comments will tell us.
The 7 of Diamonds. Introduce a mystery at the edge of the map.
Ooh.
Or an unattended situation becomes problematic and scary. What is it? How does it go awry? I'm going to say that the unattended situation that goes awry is it turns out that the mistreated children have been mistreating the bull, and the bull breaks out and runs off and joins the lions. He's a defector.
We lost the bull to the lions?
Oh no.
He was my friend.
Should have attended more to him.
Well, on that note, the breeding project is here. Travis, how does the stage 1 of breeding cows go?
So we're going to say that it ended before the bull defected. The bull did his job. The bull did what he needed to do.
Yeah.
before he defected.
Yeah, he'd given what he needed to the project already.
Yeah, he was paid up front, so to speak. um, so yeah, he ended up birthing a whole slew of new calves. Now we just have to wait for them to grow up.
Can someone look up how long it takes for cows to become the age where they can make milk? And then we're going to shrink. We can probably shrink that on account of uranium.
An appropriate diet is 9 to 15 months.
That's too many.
We could probably shrink it to 6 because of, take your pick.
Yeah.
I mean, there is uranium in the water supply.
True.
Yeah. And we do feed the cows uranium because that's how we get the uranium milk. So I am assuming the cows also digest the uranium, which is in the babies, which is also in the babies' milk that they're drinking from their mothers.
Yeah.
Honestly, we can't keep the uranium away from the cows.
So this was on my turn, so I'm going to make the project be... you know what? I feel like we don't need them just for milk. They're also for labor. So I'm going to say getting them old enough that they can pull rudimentary equipment is going to be a 6-week project. Wait, it wasn't my turn. Whose turn was it? Fuck.
Oh,
I think it
my
was
turn.
Anna Kristen's.
It's Kristan's.
Yeah.
Never mind.
I'm going to start a project.
Okay.
So since the motorbike has been came out of the mine shaft, it has rested untouched and unattended, standing freely on its 2 deflated wheels, regarded by the mining children as something dangerous and not to be approached. But we are going to use our new surplus of tar oil to try and manufacture some new tires for that thing, and maybe see what we can do with it.
All right.
And I'd say it's going to take 3 weeks.
Hire project. Has anyone seen the movie Rubber?
Yeah.
Okay. So that was Kristen's turn. After Kristan is Sean. I know how to count. Rubber is a great movie if you want a very weird time.
I often
Sean.
do. All right. What's my card?
9 of diamonds. A project fails. Which one? Why? Or something goes foul and supplies are ruined. Add a new scarcity.
Both those are fine.
All right. So, in terms of our projects, we have
making battle plans and building tires.
All right. I believe that the tire program is going to go catastrophically wrong.
Rubber.
So, they try a variety of different ways to make rubber out of synthetic rubber out of tar. It turns out that's very difficult. But one of the things that they tried was mixing in the dust from all the different rocks.
Oh no!
Only now they just after powdering all those rocks, they just have severe radiation poisoning.
Oh no!
No.
So the scientists. Oh no! Oh no! The scientists are dying.
How has this never been a problem before now?
Well, I mean, they haven't really powdered the rocks. It's just, it just gets into everything. It gets into the water supply.
Yeah,
It's much more dangerous if it gets
And the scientists
into
have
your
been in
lungs.
very close proximity. Erase this scientist.
Right, now we take down the projects.
Yeah, this tire falls over.
All right, I wish to start a project, which is to send a number of... I'll count them as children, basically youths, with very good supplies down into the staircase, because every time people go down there, it just seems to go down and down and down. So what they're going to do is they're basically going to go down in stages, setting up supply depots.
Oh.
And this is going to be a 6-week project because they obviously still have to climb back out, and that basically the furthest, yeah. And the further you go, it's a lot easier to go down than it is to come back up. So they've been really careful with that so far.
Yeah.
So now they're actually getting organized, getting like supply drop set up, and that'll be a 6 project. Yeah.
Not the unions. I think it's
You
funny.
think it's the same children who the survivors of the ones who explore the other mountain?
Hardened veterans.
Hardened veteran. I'm
Hardened
going to draw the same girl over here. They are ready for it.
Mm-hmm.
They know how they know stairs.
Yeah, they got stairs down.
She's got a sword now.
Oh shit!
Forged with
Packing heat.
stairs.
All right. That's a 6-week project to investigate the mine.
The stairway in the mine, yeah.
Yeah. All right, my card.
All right. I like to think that we have no reasonable need to keep mining as much as we do.
We
But
want glowy rocks.
Oh, yeah, no, that's a good reason.
It's not
The
helping the
eighth.
community. We just mine on end because this community was built on mining.
The Ace of Diamonds. A contingent within the community demand to be heard. Who are they? What are they asking for? Or, a contingent within the community have acted on their frustrations. What have they damaged and why did they damage it? Is it permanent?
No.
Oh, I have so many good options, but this pedal only has one way, and it's up. So if I say something, it's dead. Oh no, there's so many good options. So many good options. We now have a deficit of experts because the loved ones of those who were experimented on by the doctor have burnt down his laboratory in school.
Oh no.
He is alive but injured.
Shame.
No.
All right.
What a waste.
So now all the books he's been like writing and handwriting other than his and often in Latin that have just been showing up that he's been writing. I mean, they're gone. They burned.
We're dumb again.
We're dumb again. Several of his acolytes were killed. It's tragic. I mean, students.
No more eldritch knowledge of fundamental physics.
Yeah, he's slumped over now because he's sad. Okay. Projects tick down. Battle plans are completed. Travis, that was yours?
Oh shit! Yeah, you're right. Cool. So after weeks of spying on these lions, we have identified their security routines.
Okay.
So, a potential project could be the R&D of a insert like a my god I'm forgetting the word, a spy force to go in and disrupt them from the inside.
Saboteurs.
Yeah, saboteurs. And we've also identified that they do plan to attack very soon, and we also spied the traitor, giving them inside
With
information.
the bull was sentient the entire time. I guess I did say he was weirdly docile. It makes sense. Oh my god. This is such an elaborate scheme. They've stolen our bull who is a double agent.
So I love how this has just turned into like, oh yeah, the world might be ending. There's dark storm clouds outside. We don't know what's going on. No one seems to be alive out there. And now we're just in a war with sentient animals.
Yeah. We also started with, because it's a mining town, the children need to work to pull their own weight, too. Children are the primary workforce.
Well, they're the only ones who aren't busy.
You know what? Everyone else is working on battle plans. The children got nothing to do. Oh yeah, the breeding. Oh my God! Will points out the breeding program. It turns out was with a sentient bull.
Oh no.
Yep.
Oh no! And a magical bull, which means them growing up quickly, may happen.
Mm-hmm. Got some Twilight shit going on here.
Okay.
What?
Whose turn was that? Where did we start that?
I think it was Sean's.
Okay, so it's
I
my
think so.
Oh wait,
Right.
Sean. So we did the project. So Sean has to start a project or a discovery. There we go. That's
Yeah,
it.
I did a start project, so yeah, I think this is the end of your turn now.
Or, this is the beginning
Oh,
of my
yes.
turn.
Yeah, because I was asking you about the contingent within the community.
Oh,
Yeah,
you're
you
right.
drew a
So
card,
this
yeah.
is yes. So now it's my turn. Fuck. Okay. Who? I am going to start a project to forge weapons. Now that we have oil and we don't have expertise anymore, but we have the oil to get the machinery working. So the plan is to make guns, and unfortunately, we are going to be pulling away from our blasting powder, meaning we now have a scarcity of glowing rocks because the blasting powder, instead of mining, is going towards gunpowder for weapons.
We're eating more rocks than we produce.
Yeah. So we have a scarcity of rocks. Actually, that won't happen until the project's over, I just realized. So I'm going to put that back. But yeah, we're building weapons, and it's going to take 4 weeks, and we're hoping it's enough to protect us from lions. That's the end of my turn. So now a card for Travis.
Travis. The 8 of Diamonds. Someone tries to take control of the community by force. Do they succeed? Why do they do this?
Oh, I'm
Or
this card.
a headstrong community member decides to put one of their ideas in motion. Start a foolish project.
Okay. I'm gonna do the second one. There's been a community member named Trapped Headstrong, and
It's Drawk will take you on.
so he decides that we doesn't need to wait for the community to get their shit together to get like a saboteur and try to like stealthily take out the lions. No, he's gonna do it himself, and whoever will join him. He's
Huzzah!
gonna start a 2-week project of him gathering as many forces as possible and as many weapons as he can find and just storming the gate of the lion castle.
Yeah. So he's going to rally an army for 2 weeks and then charge the lions?
Yes.
I like
I
it.
thought that'd be the most foolish.
Got pitchfork. Yeah. So that's a 2-week project. Projects tick down. I think. Oh, I forgot to track this one down last time, so this is down to 4. 4 for the children investigating the mine, and 3 for the blacksmith to start producing weapons. Meaning they will finish just after Headstrong has done his attack.
Yep.
Okay, so now,
Let's
yeah.
see.
What are you doing?
We got so much going on.
We really do.
So the tires did work. Ooh. Okay.
Tires died.
The children who are working in the mines, the motorbike's just been hanging out there, right? That's where just
Yeah.
and it's just been
Yeah.
sitting around town. The children are going to try to tame the motorbike.
Oh my god, yeah, they're on it. They're on it.
It's going to be a 3-week project. They're going to become motorbike whisperers.
He's gonna be like crouched down, talking to it, getting low, learning its secrets. This kid wants to understand the secrets of the motorbike. Make its power his.
Save the motorbike. Save the world.
That's the secret. It's always been about the motorbike. Clearly, you look at this map and you know that it's always been about the motorbike.
Always.
Okay, so that's the project. It's a how many weeks?
3.
Okay. So, Kristan's card.
The King of Diamonds. Summer is fleeting. Discard the top 2 cards off the top of the deck and take 2 actions this week.
Damn.
All right, 2 actions. Alright, so my first action is going to discover something new.
Okay, been a while since I discovered.
So that place where the lightning hit the hill.
Yep.
Another bolt of lightning. This one, much larger than the multiple strikes that struck before, hits the top of the hill, and when the flash has receded, sitting atop this hill, like a miniature version of the 2 giant statues, is another tiny head. This one, masculine and crying tears of blood.
Oh, that's probably fine. Probably nothing to worry about that one.
Probably nothing to worry about. And then the second action, I'm going to start a discussion.
Okay.
Greetings, I am an emissary from the Lion Alliance. We are concerned with the crying blood statue which we have seen with our advanced telescopes. Do you desire an alliance against what is surely an invasion of blood statues?
What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck? What the fuck?
It seems that the lions have grafted human vocal cords into themselves. Quite clever. That's our resident doctor.
He's recovering.
Now, if you don't remember, I'm Clarice. I'm from the Mother's Movement against children working in the mines, but we need to do that anyway. But now they're also taming motorcycles, so that's weird. Is our new name for our new organization. Anyways, for one, hello, sir, and for 2, how can we trust you?
Because Kristan started with a question, he is allowed a statement to close out.
The Lion Alliance is terrified of bleeding statues. We are more terrified of them than we are eager to raise your village to the ground. That is how you can trust us. The Lion Alliance. Trademark.
Wow, okay. So that's the 2 things you do?
Yep. I think that's all I get to do.
Yeah.
This round.
I've ticked down the clocks. It's Sean's turn.
All right, draw me that card.
3 of diamonds. Summer is a time for production and tending to the earth. Start a project related to food production. Or summer is a time for conquest and the gathering of might. Start a project related to military readiness and conquest.
All right. I think that we're going to start a project to formalize cooperation between ourselves and the Alliance. One of those, I think that's what we'll do. I think it'll be a 2-week project to basically really just establish proper diplomatic ties and figure out what both sides really want and how we can make that work while also destroying the blood statues. As far as we know, we're the only life left on this planet. Sentient
Okay.
life.
So the project is a diplomatic project with the lions.
Yes, so we can eventually conquer the dreaded blood statues, or statue, or whatever that thing is.
Yeah.
And I mean, conquest through diplomacy is still conquest.
It's true.
Okay. We tick down the clocks. The headstrong man decides to launch. How many weeks is that actually? Sean?
It was
Oh, sorry. The how long is the
Yeah,
project?
diplomacy.
I was going to say that was 2 weeks.
2 weeks. The headstrong man launches his attack on the lions in a surprise attack before waiting for the community to be ready. How does that go, Travis?
so since the Lion Alliance had come over, they weren't expecting an attack so soon. So he actually gains the upper hand until he gets into the castle, and then he's never heard from again.
So he killed some lions before, though.
He like the lions fled. Actually,
Oh,
they
okay.
saw like a charging army, and they only had a couple of guards out. So they fled inside, and then he's like, "Let's burst down the gates, boys!" And they burst through. And once the gates closed, no one knows what happened.
I wonder
Well, I
how
sure
this will
hope that
affect our
didn't affect
diplomacy. Same man.
Yeah.
Same man.
Okay. I
And
like it.
discovery.
Discovery, discussion, or project.
Okay, so I'm gonna go with the discovery. Coming up the stairs, out of the crying goddess area, up those
Yeah.
stairs. There is a somewhat janky-looking 6-legged robot with wheels instead of feet.
Okay.
And on top is a sheet metal which seems to have been bent and stretched to look like a tied ribbon on top.
Like the children. Horrible.
What the hell?
Does it stop moving? Does it just leave and we don't see it again? What?
It walks up the stairs. It basically walks past the children without really interacting with them and walks up the stairs.
And now it's just like wandering around?
It's just there next to the motorbike.
Shit, okay. All right. Kristan, you want to draw a card for me?
The 2 of diamonds reads, "Someone new arrives. Who? Why are they in distress?" Or, "Someone leaves the community. Who? And what are they looking for?"
The doctor has said he is leaving, and he says, "You do not understand the lions. They are not lions. They are something else. And if they fear the power of the statues, then that is power we want." And he is claiming he's going on a pilgrimage to understand things, but has not said where he is going. Yeah. Projects tick down. We're 1 week away from the kids and getting out of the mine. We get the result of the blacksmith, which is, as I said previously, so much ore has been used up, so much plasma powder has been used up that we now have a scarcity of glowy rock. But in exchange, we have guns. The town
Huzzah!
has guns.
They fire uranium bullets.
Depleted uranium. Actually, not depleted. Fully intact uranium rounds.
Well, I mean, if we ever need to punch through like Cold War era armor, eh?
Yeah, we have the technology now.
It's okay, though. Having uranium in your body is almost entirely fine unless you breathe it in.
Almost entirely.
Not a war crime.
Yeah. Not technically.
Can you
I
commit
mean, I
war
think
crimes
technically a
compliant?
surprise attack in the middle of a ceasefire and a discussion was a war crime.
Yeah.
But
That was
I
a
think he's
rogue
been
agent.
suitably eaten, so
Yeah, we paid for his discretion, or for his indiscretions by him being dead. I forgot he's dead now. I erase him.
Munch.
Well, we know we don't know what happened to him. If we didn't see a body, we don't know he's dead. That's the rules.
Hey, the scientist is claiming they're not lions.
Hmm.
I'm just growing these crystals bit by bit, by the way.
Oh yeah,
That's canon.
it's
That's
canon.
lore appropriate.
They were.
Yeah. So at the end of my turn, I had something I wanted to do, but I've forgotten what it was. I'm going to say, we make a discovery. The black calf has disappeared. And that's it.
Now we know.
The black calf is gone.
And we will remember because it's not on the map.
Yep. I got rid of him. He's gone forever. Never to return. End of my turn. So Trav gets a card.
Trav gets the 4 of diamonds.
Ooh.
The 4 of diamonds. The eldest among you dies. What caused the death?
The
Or
old man that everyone wanted to kill.
Or the eldest among you is very sick. Caring for them and searching for a cure requires the help of the entire community. Do not reduce project dice this week.
Yeah, he can die. So he just eats it.
Nobody kills him, he just dies.
Yeah, no one kills him. He just dies. But his dead body is discovered with a glowing rock growing out of his abdomen.
Okay. I like it.
This has
No
implications.
one knows if that's how he died. But that might have contributed to his death.
I think that just happens to people sometimes.
Yeah. So yeah, that's how he dies. There's a glowing rock. Essentially, not just as like his chest or his stomach, like his sternum. Like it is just like a big rock that is just grown out of his sternum.
Makes sense.
Yeah. Oh boy. So I already have the project going with the children taming the bike. What's that other
Yeah.
project?
So taming the bike, there's children going down the stairs, and there's diplomacy with the lions.
Right. Okay. So which ones are ending right now?
I think all three.
All three. All
think all
three
three.
of them are ending this turn.
Cool. So are we just gonna do them in turn order?
Yeah. So the first. Yeah, let's do it in turn order. So the diplomacy was Sean. So Sean goes first. So is the fixing the bike. All three were Sean, aren't they?
No, fixing the bike wasn't me.
No, fixing the bike wasn't you.
No. Bike was me.
That was Trav. Okay, so Sean's will do the. Do you want to do the children first or the diplomacy first?
Let's do the diplomacy.
Okay, how did that go after we sent a guy who tried to kill them?
All right, so we go to the latest meeting, like the only meeting that was after the attack.
Yeah.
And as we sort of head up the slight hill, the lion at the top is holding a sack. And he opens the sack, and rolling down the hill are the heads of several of the people who assaulted the Lion Keep. No one is at all surprised, and our completely nonplussed reaction means that the lions know that really, he was just kind of a dick. Like that wasn't with our approval, so yeah, he died.
I just had a
That's
knock
on
on
him.
my door. I'll be right back.
Mysterious knock.
Let's hope he's not getting swatted.
Okay, just the mail. I think that makes sense. That
Right.
they see us be like, yeah, it makes sense, and they're like, oh, okay, cool. You didn't care about this guy. He wasn't a big deal.
Yeah. So the discussion carries on as normal, and territory is delineated. The lions keep control of the plains. The bull is willing to come back to us so long as he receives much better treatment. Because he wants to have some more kids.
Okay, makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
And plans are drawn up to try to destroy the bleeding statue because, I mean, it's terrifying.
I'm drawing a
And the
board.
correct response to something you fear is violence.
That's not a good lesson.
The lions agree, I would imagine.
We get along on wanting to destroy that which we are afraid of. Oh no.
Let's celebrate what unites us all. Xenophobia.
All right. Diplomatic mission has been successful. How did the children going down the staircase go?
No, let's do the motorbike first.
Okay.
So I don't. It's not all me.
Travis, how does that go?
Okay. So, a la Chris Pratt in the Jurassic Park movies. When the child first approaches the bike, it's very aggressive and and then the kid just like holds out his hand and the bike like goes to charge, but the kid doesn't move and the bike like stops its charge an inch away from the kid's hand, and then it goes a little closer, and then it makes like bike sniffing noises. And so imagine that how you will.
Okay.
And then the kid puts his hand on the headlamp of the bike and starts like petting it, and then the bike starts making like low guttural engine purring noises. And that was like their first meeting. Throughout the 2 or 3 weeks I think I had it set for, the kid would like sit with the bike at breakfast, at dinner, invite the bike into the house. He would sleep with the bike in his bed as like a best friend. And then like after the first week, he tried sitting on the bike, and the bike was like a little uncomfortable at first, but it was okay after a while. And so they started riding around for that whole second week, and then he opened a psychic connection with the bike. That's what he said anyway. He said the bike started speaking to him and telling him the secrets of the bike's people.
Okay.
And that there is more where it came from, down below. But now there is just a child who can ride a motorcycle.
Drawing him right now, because yeah. That was a beautiful story.
You're welcome.
About friendship and understanding.
And now you're right. He does sport. Once he became attuned with the bike, he no one knows where he got it, but now he wears a leather jacket.
Oh, okay.
It was a gift from the bike.
My people hold this item in great regard. It is honor to protect you from our bond.
I mean, I guess there's a lot of cattle here, so.
Yeah. Yeah, but this is a
Like
leather
going
jacket no one
around-
made.
Going around killing cattle in the night, tanning the hides.
Yeah, the boy did make it.
Yeah, the motorbike
did. Yeah, take that how you will.
Is the tire fixed now? Did it just like repair as it became trusted?
It got fixed with the power of friendship.
All right.
And camaraderie.
All right, I'll buy it.
It was a physiological reaction.
And oil.
The tire just drank enough oil and he got better. Or the bike, whatever. The bike drank oil. All right, we have a kid who rides a motorcycle now.
All right, so the children journey further and further into the stairs. The sound of distant drumming and the slam of metal on metal gets closer and closer, echoing up the spiral staircase. Until eventually, they come out into a well-lit forge room. Yeah, dimly lit forge room, sorry. There's a huge roaring black fire, and over it, hovering over it, is a sequence of burning wheels all rotating around each other. Each of these wheels, at a seemingly random location, have a long mechanical tentacle ending in also seemingly random mechanical workman's tool. And the creature, upon seeing the child, hands it a beautiful and complex geometric patterned tile that seems to glow in the dim light of the forge.
Oh,
Yeah, and off to the side from the creature is a pair of vaguely humanoid hands, but arms, but instead of hands, they just have simple, what's the term for, what do you hit a drum with?
stick.
Just sticks, and it's banging on a simple steel drum.
Okay. Okay. Okay.
And so, here we have the creature that the cattle family made a pact with.
Yeah. That
Wait,
makes sense.
like a Jamaican steel drum?
Yeah,
Like a feeling hot, hot, hot steel drum.
I mean they are. It's a massive forge.
I was like, is this like a biblically accurate forge angel? Is that what we're...
I mean, I am actually pulling from The Artifice of Eternity, which is a paper on medieval poetry about heaven. So, yeah.
Oh, wow.
Huh. Okay. Well, we have found the creature, and it handed the girl something. I like it.
Man, that tile is so radioactive.
Oh my god. Whose turn was that? That all that happened in?
It was I was asking the eldest among you.
That was
Who
Travis.
was
It was
that?
Oh,
Travis'
that was
turn.
Travis. Yeah, Travis
So
just killed him.
Travis gets a project discovery or discussion.
Oh.
now.
Oh, crap. Wow. You know what? Let's... there's so much. Let's get those battle plans underway. So we're gonna make a project with the lions, to destroy the blood crying statue.
Okay. How many weeks for the battle plans?
4. I'm gonna say take a good month, a good solid month planning with the lions.
Okay. So that is a card for Kristan.
Alrighty. The Jack of Diamonds. Predators and bad omens are afoot. You are careless, and someone goes missing under ominous circumstances. Who? Or, predators and bad omens are afoot. What measures do you take to keep everyone safe and under surveillance? Do not reduce project dice this week. I think that this week, during the night, there are 2 watchmen, a lion and a child, who are cooperating under this new alliance. And they are patrolling the streets together, chatting in their sort of lion, human, pigeon language that they've developed. When all of a sudden they notice, coming down the street, a rivulet of red blood. And the red blood is witnessed by the child reaching up and gripping the lion by the torso and pulling it, dragging it down the street and out of the town. And you can hear, and all of the village is roused as the child begins crying lion being dragged by blood tendril, as the lion roars and roars and is dragged away towards the statue. And for the rest of this week, everyone is on very careful and very high tension watch as we make sure that no one else gets taken by the blood from the statue. So no projects ticked down this week.
Wow, that's fucked up.
So wait, the human didn't get carried away. It was the lion got wrapped up and pulled.
The lion got
Yeah.
wrapped up.
Okay,
Yeah, we didn't lose any of
Um,
ours. It's fine.
that's not good for our diplomacy. That's okay.
Or it's great
I
for the
mean,
diplomacy because
It was a common enemy that did it.
yeah.
Unless
I
the
guess so.
child was lying.
About the lion?
Yeah.
I think all the other lions heard the lion freaking and lion freaking out.
Probably, honestly, it'd be a little bit hard to trick that part of the lion screaming, "Help! A
Yeah.
blood tendril! A blood tendril's eating me! Oh my god! Oh fuck! Oh shit!"
Uh, I think we're going to start a project. This is going to be a project to try and establish some. Actually, no, we can't do the project. We don't have any experts. No, we're gonna start a project. We gotta find that doctor. We need the expertise. There's going to be a war, and we need doctors. So we're gonna put together an expedition to go find that doctor.
All right. The doctor
It's gonna be-
expedition.
It's gonna be 2-week doctor expedition. It's not a huge area to search, and we know which direction he went. So nope, 3 weeks. Let's do 3 weeks.
Okay. 3-week doctor hunting expedition. Okay. So that's a card for Sean then, huh?
Yeah.
Yes. And the warm, subtly life-filled summer air is gone as the leaves on the trees begin to turn brown and dry, and autumn is now upon us. And Sean has drawn the Jack of Clubs.
All right.
A project finishes early. Which one and why? If there are no projects underway, restless creates animosity, which leads to violence. Who gets hurt?
We
You
have
know, I'm
two
gonna say-
projects. Yeah.
They find the doctor. I mean, they got a motorcycle kid. The motorcycle kid finds him fast.
All right. So the rules of the game, normally I would give the resolution because of my project, but since it's a card that did it, you get to decide how it resolves. Or sorry, I didn't do the project, Kristan did. So you get to because yeah, you got the card. So what happens when they find the
Alright.
doctor?
The doctor takes the child aside and shows him what he's been studying. A number of occult symbols have been carved into the stone, and the stone itself seems to be almost exactly like that which the blood statue is formed from. And he goes, "This is their womb. This is where they are born. If we understand this, we can understand their life cycle."
Where's the
And
stone?
then, what?
Where's the stone?
The stone is outside of town.
Oh, okay, just a stone. Gotcha.
Mm-hmm. But the doctor is so enamored with his work, he refuses to return after describing the details of the stone life cycle. And as he sort of pokes one of the symbols, a faint trickle of blood comes out, and the stone seems oddly spongy.
Ooh, that's gross.
And the kid comes back and tries to explain all this, but doesn't do a very good job.
On account of child.
Yeah,
Aw.
he might be the most badass child, but now people know where the doctor is. And where the mystery symbols are, which might be creating the blood statue.
I would like to take an opposite of contempt token again because this is getting very interesting.
Look, we still have no idea what made that storm, man, and I'm scared of that storm.
Does the
Okay.
storm have anything to do with the lightning that created the statue?
Maybe.
Or the big statues? Who knows?
Who knows? Does the doctor still want to side with the statues, or did he find this and go, "Nah, they're too weird. Actually, I'm anti-statue again."
I mean, he is a scientist through and through.
Yeah,
You know, he's not taking sides. He's just here to study.
true. All right.
The petty actions of lesser mortals. It's secondary.
So we count down project clocks, so that gets counted down. What else was? Is that the only? Yeah, that's the only project left.
Lion War, yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. And then you get to decide on what you want to do for your action.
I think I want to start a discussion.
Uh-huh.
And the discussion is going to start with so there's something down there, and it's making things, but it seems to be all friendly, right? It's giving us nice gifts. It's got this nice glowy tile. I sleep with it every night. My teeth have begun to fall out, but I think that's unrelated. It gave us the spider bot with the ribbon on it. I think we need to find a way to communicate with it and get it to make more useful things.
We must consider, though, that it said there was a cost when old man was alive. What is it going to be asking for in return for aid? Kristan Travis?
Was that?
Oh.
If it asks for aid, I'm another elder of the village. You don't know me. I'm no one important. But
The third oldest man.
yeah, no, I'm like the fifth. So really, just down the line of importance. I believe that everything does have a cost. So I believe if we do find a way to communicate with it and make a deal, we should make sure what we have to pay before we get our product.
My new friend, the bicycle, tells me that all is a wheel, and all will be as it was.
Oh no.
Oh, oh no! I'm suddenly
hell
confused
yeah.
Suddenly. Oh no!
It's like Rider and Biker one. Oh no.
All are one in the Great Wheel.
So
no.
was that Sean's turn discussion?
Yeah,
Hard
it was.
for me.
King of clubs.
Club King.
A natural disaster strikes the area. Choose one. You focus on getting everyone to safety, remove an abundance and a project fails, or you focus on on protecting your supplies and hard work at any cost. Several people die as a result.
Project fails. There are no more war plans. The Lions have decided it's too dangerous, and the blood statue's closer to our borders anyways. So the diplomacy has failed. And the disaster is a chasm opened up. Ice separating us from the tar we've been using for fuel, creating a scarcity of oil.
Huh.
And surrounding blood statue in a fiery moat.
So is the chasm
That's pretty
filled
metal.
with flaming tar?
No, the crack's nowhere near the castle. They're just like, you know what, we're farther away from that shit anyways, so we're just gonna leave it to you now, unless we come up with an option that looks safer, because we lost some cats when that crack opened up, and too high cost. Like, the alliance isn't over. They're backing out on war plans directly, because as the statue has responded ahead of time.
Oh no, I mean, is the chasm filled with flaming tar?
Deep down.
Oh, okay.
Maybe someone could make a project to go down and get it, but like, it's not as accessible.
Yeah.
Okay. No projects to tick down anymore.
It's a big one.
I'm going to start a project which is trying to get any information out of the doctor by talking to him.
Nice.
I think that's going to only take 2 weeks. So after my turn, that would be Travis.
Okay.
The Four of Clubs. The strongest among you dies. What caused the death? Or, the weakest among you dies. Who's to blame for their death?
Interesting. So I'm going to say the weakest.
among us died.
Who's the weakest?
Which was Charisse, the manager of the hold on.
Mothers against.
Yeah. The mothers against children in mines, but we need them
She
anyways,
was
and
the
now they're
weakest.
talking to motorcycles. And that's weird.
Why they never accomplished anything? Because of her weakness?
Yeah, she was the weakest link. And sorry, what's the second part of that?
Who's responsible for their death?
Who's so the latter part of the organization is now they're talking to motorcycles, and that's weird. And so she went to address the bike boy, which I don't know. Did we give him a name?
No, look, I think staying away from names and giving descriptions is fine for this game.
Right.
Because it's about the community.
So Charisse went to go talk to Bike Boy and be like, hey, this is kind of weird. How about you get off the bike? And he went, no, I am one with the bike, and the bike is one with me, and we are all part of the wheel.
No.
And she's like, what? And then he just ran her over.
Charisse. Our only named character was the weakest, and she got run over by a motorcycle.
We still have
only
Bart.
that,
Bert.
Oh yeah, you're right. I forgot we had another named character.
But she didn't like her body wasn't found like tire tracks or anything. Like she was just a pile of clothes and a skull.
What? The motorcycle erased her from reality?
Well, the only person who knows is Bike Boy, and I guess Charisse.
God, well,
But-
new.
Yeah. So yeah, that's what happened. And so now the people of the town slightly fear Bike Boy.
Yeah, I would too. All right. I've ticked down the one project. What do you want to do with your action, Travis?
Oh man, this is so chaotic. Everything is going wrong.
That's the name of the game.
The a discovery is made.
Okay.
A second motorcycle has, because while no one was paying attention, a second motorcycle has appeared, the same size, same size, color
Oh.
as the black calf that disappeared long ago.
Ooh. Ooh, that's not where I was gonna go with that seed, but that's interesting. It's got horns. It's a motorcycle with horns.
Yeah.
Hell yeah, that's rad. All right. Kristan, you get a card.
All right. The 9 of clubs. The community works constantly, and as a result, a project finishes early, or a group goes out to explore the map more thoroughly and finds something that had been previously overlooked.
Ooh, the only project right now is getting information out of the doctor.
I think everyone has been avoiding the forest with the giant oak tree.
Yeah, we have. We
'Cause
haven't
it's
mentioned it at all.
almost kind of a sacred primeval place. But I think a group of children who are on their 1 day a month off,
Oh no.
they go, they go into the forest and they discover that through the forest, because the forest is the only border to the sort of region where the town lies within the great sort of surrounding storm clouds, that isn't either a barren or mountainous, they discover that through the trees a creeping black mist is beginning to encroach towards the town.
Oh. Hey guys, I just realized we have no abundances and only scarcities.
Hui.
Oh yikes!
It's a bad situation, y'all.
A troubling commentary.
Wait, don't we still have an abundance of children?
Oh, you forgot we made those a resource. We have an abundance of children.
Uh,
I
I
forgot
thought we
that.
had I thought we had an abundance of cows because of
No,
the cow
because they haven't
project.
grown up yet.
Fair
If
enough.
we get a card that's like, hey, new abundance, that would make sense as the thing to do. Like, hey, the cows grew up super fast, crazy.
all right, so that's I think that's what I do with that card.
All right.
Do we have any project thinking?
Well, the project to get information out of the doctor ticks down naturally, so after a while of discussing with him, he says, if they are made with this, I think that we could stop them from being made, but we could be made into them as well. Perhaps that is what the whale has been doing. It's a different nature? Metal? No. And he presents a hypothesis that if we destroy the stone, we may stop new ones from coming into existence, but if we want to threaten them, we need to find a way to use the stone to make someone powerful enough to stop them. Or at least that's his theory.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Hmm.
That's why I'm adding on to that. Kristan, new project or discovery or etc.
I'm going to discover something new, and I'm
Okay.
going to cement myself as the face guy, because as the children are fleeing from the smoke, one of them falls in front and looks up into the trees of the great branches of the great oak tree, and sees, depicted among the branches against the sky, a fourth face, its eyes closed, but its mouth open, and coming out of the mouth, a fine white mist, that when it comes in contact with the black fog tendrils, there's a sort of sparkling crackle, and both sort of disappear.
Interesting.
It seems as though this mist is what's keeping the black storm at bay from this edge of the forest.
So the tree face is fighting the smoke. Oh, okay. Sean gets a card.
Yeah.
Sean gets the 2 of clubs. Someone returns to the community. Who? Where were they? Or you find a body. Do people recognize who it is? What happened?
Okay. So, underneath the wreckage of the doctor's hut, people start sort of like poking at it one day, looking for raw materials. There's a shortage of like burnables because there's no oil.
Yep.
And
There's a face in every corner.
they find a trap door, charred but not destroyed. They open it, and inside they find what happened to the missing people. It looks as though all of their brains were shoved into one humanoid form. It looks like Jimmy Neutron in terms of proportions.
Is it dead?
It's dead. It seems to have starved to death without anyone to tend to it. Its massive brain too large for it to really even walk around properly.
Well, that's fucked up.
So they find dead Jimmy Neutron.
So he got all the knowledge by inventing a brain blast.
I mean, yeah, he combined all their brains to make one hyper-intelligent child, and now that child starved to death.
Oh boy. Oh, this is the darkest one yet.
Let's mark that one down in the logbook.
I'm not taking contempt because it's interesting, but damn, is it fucked?
Brain blast.
Jimmy Neutron.
Uh. So,
Is it against
Project
TOS to have a dead Jimmy Neutron on screen?
I don't know who owns the IP for Jimmy Neutron.
Nickelodeon.
I feel like a dead child might be against TOS.
no. Oh, that's what you mean. Okay, I don't know that.
Yeah,
I mean,
I think
just
it's an
think of
adult.
Simpsons rules. You know,
Yeah, it's an adult. It was. Oh no. So
good old egg boy.
we don't have a
Egghead.
project to tick down. Do you want to start a project or do a discovery or what?
I think I think the townsfolk are going to start a project to rebuild some of the mining equipment in order to create like basically using what would normally be used to pump out water and use it as a pump for fuel, as well as uranium dust to make a radioactive flamethrower.
That's pretty sick.
Because they need to get rid of that blood statue. I mean, it ate a lion. That's
Warp
not okay.
flamethrower. Warp flamethrower. Skaven mode.
We need some of that orc magic. We just need to believe to exist, and it will.
So true.
All
If
right.
you don't know
how
it's
many,
radioactive, it can't hurt you.
How many weeks to make a warp
Oh,
flamethrower?
6. 6, easy.
Okay. All right. Chris, you want to give me a card? Or without
10.
Yeah. Yeah,
The
give me
10
that.
of clubs.
All right.
Harvest is here, and it is plentiful, and in abundance. Or, cold autumn winds drive out your enemies. Remove a threatening force from the map and the area.
Should I have the cows spontaneously grow up or the lions leave? I think the lions are moving on. They're going to try to find somewhere else.
You got to brave the storm.
They were our allies, but they're still a threatening force. They basically said, look, we fear that more. They didn't say they weren't going to come for us eventually. I think the lions have left. They've gone off to find something new.
Guess we don't have to worry about imperialist lions, at least.
Yeah, they took their flag with them. they went
did.
up, rolled it
Packed
up.
the flag. They're going to put it wherever their new home is.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
This ain't worth it, they said, on a note.
I guess this one's been gone for a while. That was just a temporary marker of what had happened. Okay, so projects tick down. Project tick down. I'm going to start a new project, and the project is going to be we need more glowy rock to be able to make the warp flamethrower, so we're going to start mining again harder than ever. Put the children to work. So that's the project. It's going to be 3 weeks until we're able to get enough to call it an abundance, I figure. All right. Draw a card for Trav.
Mm-hmm.
The Queen of Clubs.
Ooh.
Disease spreads through the community. Choose one. You spend the week quarantining and treating the disease. Project dice are not reduced this week. Or, nobody knows what to do about it. Add health and fertility as a scarcity.
Oh, you can't add scarcities. Okay.
I'm gonna say that everyone quarantines. They feel like a disease starts spreading through. The doctor isn't here, right? He's still at the blood tablet.
Blood tab.
And so people are freaking out. They just all stay indoors and hunker down until the disease passes. So no work gets done at all. So yeah, that was it, right? They just hunker down and nothing happens.
And now you get to do a discovery, discussion, or project.
So in the aftermath of this really bad disease, they realize that
they have no one who knows anything in town.
No.
The scientists are dead. The doctor's, obsessed with his little blood tablet. So they send the children into the remains of whatever the science lab or whatever notes the doctor left in his home, to rifle through and learn as much as they can in 6 weeks.
Okay. Makes sense. It's time to study Brain Boy.
We shall build another Jimmy Neutron.
It's been like 6 months. He's mostly skeleton at this point, isn't
It's
he?
mostly skeleton. Oh no.
Yeah.
He took a while to starve.
He was like breaking down his brain matter, is getting dumber and dumber.
Oh no, that's terrible. No.
Oh.
That's awful.
He became less and less able to escape his prison.
So yeah,
Oh,
they're investigating Brain Boy's records. Project Ice are not removed this week. Kristan gets a card.
The 8 of clubs.
Okay.
Someone sabotages a project and the project fails as a result. Who did this? Why?
Is it workfire, mining, or discovering Jimmy's secrets?
Or someone is caught trying to sabotage the efforts of the community. How does the community respond?
Oh, this is a good one.
Ooh. Yeah.
So what are the projects again?
We have Warp Flamethrower. We have investigating Jimmy Neutron's secret knowledge. And we have mining uranium, so we don't have a scarcity of glowy rocks.
I think the doctor discovers that Jimmy Neutron was discovered, and he burns down the building where the body is being kept. No one shall discover my secrets! None! They are mine to keep! And then he, I guess, you know what? I think he runs back to his bloodstone, and using some of the knowledge he has attained, he draws a sigil in his own blood on the stone and is absorbed into it. His last words are, "I will take control of these eldritch forces."
Well, that's pretty fucked. Oh, hello, Captain Bear Mode. I'm being raided. We're playing The Quiet Year. We're making the map. Sentient lions have been dealt with. Don't worry. And the German doctor has fused into the Bloodstone to try to take control of the Eldritch forces.
If only we had more uranium.
If only.
Yeah.
We're working on it. The
If
kids are mining. Speaking of take-down projects.
Yeah.
We have sent children to mine the uranium mine so that we have an abundance of glowing rock. Okay. So the doctor has fused with the Bloodstone. That actually looks kind of cool. It's really fun. It's a really fun game. You make a map as your way of tracking what's happening, so I thought it'd be fun for a drawing stream. I think that was Kristen's turn. Kristan, do you want to make a project or a discovery?
Did we tick down all the other projects?
I did, yeah.
Okay. Let's have a discussion.
Okay.
So, hi there. I think I'm one of maybe 3 adults left in this town. Should we leave? Did the lions have the right idea?
I think the lions are probably going to die. Because everyone who goes into the mysterious clouds doesn't come back. I think the doctor's got this, and he's gonna fight the statues.
As now the third oldest person in this town, somehow the 2 other older people like me outlive the disease. Just my luck, I guess. I don't have I mean, I'd rather not die on the road. I'd rather die in my own bed, if at all possible. So I'd rather not leave this town, but I get it. I'm pretty scared too.
I got a theory. So, you know how everything that goes on the road don't come back? What if we don't take a road? What if we took a river?
All right.
All those goddess tears got to go somewhere.
I like that.
Hmm.
Kristan, give that man a card.
Alrighty. The 7 of clubs. A project just isn't working out as expected. Radically change the nature of this project. Don't modify the project die. When it resolves, you'll be responsible for telling the community how it went. Or something goes foul and supplies are ruined. Add a new scarcity.
Well, the only abundance we have is children, Sean.
I
Yeah.
don't think I want to just blow up the children, to be honest. I think it is inadvisable for just the children to have perished mining uranium. I think even by the standards of this story, that is a little fucked up.
Yes. Yeah. It's going a little too
Therefore,
far.
I think there's going to be a radical alteration to the uranium flamethrower project.
Okay, what's the alteration?
They realize it is way, way easier to just build a catapult. And so instead of a flamethrower, they're just going to try to create like very simple containers that they can put the tar in with a fuse and then a large catapult. And they're going to start working on that catapult.
Yeah, you know what? That's a good point.
The flamethrower was cool, and everyone agrees the flamethrower was cool.
It's
But
like, why don't we just build a catapult at this point, guys? We've been working on this for a while.
we don't need 200 feet of napalm, probably.
We have not been making progress in our flamethrower idea.
All right,
Oh my
project
God.
stick down.
Project stick down. Uranium mining, 1 week from completion. 3 weeks for the catapult now.
All right, so the discovery. I'm going to do discovery. They find pushing out of the dirt, formed from rusted iron, are the words, "Souls so still, in silence we yearn. We shall sodden the ground, blood to mud. The wheel must not turn."
Where?
Just outside the pasture with the cattle.
All right. Run that by me one more time.
Souls so still, in silence we yearn. We shall sodden the ground, blood to mud. The wheel must not turn.
Give me a card, Kristan.
Alright, the 3 of clubs.
I feel like we sped up at some point. 3 of clubs.
Someone leaves the community after issuing a dire warning. Who? What is the warning? Or someone issues a dire warning and the community leaps into action to avoid disaster. What is the warning? Start a contentious project that relates to it.
All right, hear me out, lads. The ground don't want the wheel to turn. Wheel's got to turn. I'm gonna get down there, get that thing going. All right. Yep. All right, cool. That's the project. He's gonna get that wheel turning. He wants to get down there and get that wheel turning. Start working on a deal. Contentious. Not a lot of people want him to do it, but by God, he's gonna do it.
Who's doing it?
Some guy.
Some dude? Just some man?
Just a man from town. He's like, look, the ground don't want us to turn that wheel. We got to turn that wheel. I'm not letting the ground tell me what to do. So he's going to get down there. He's going to get that wheel turning. It's going to be a 3-week project because he's got to get down there. Okay. Projects tick down. Uranium mining is completed. No children died. They came up with one extra child. And a bunch of uranium. We now have an abundance of glowy rocks. Hooray. Give Travis a card, Kristan.
All right, the Ace of Clubs. The community becomes obsessed with a single project. Which one? Why? Choose one. They decide to take more time to ensure that it is perfect, add 3 weeks to the project die. They drop everything else to work on it. All other projects fail. If there are no projects underway, add a scarcity born of idleness.
Travis.
I'm gonna. Yeah.
You
I'm
use so
gonna
much
say-
power.
Yeah. I'm gonna say that the one guy does not speak for the townsfolk. And they just let him go to try to turn the wheel by
No
himself.
one's coming with them.
No one's coming with him. No one said, "Yeah, let's go turn that wheel." When an ominous message appears from the ground, like people are like that seems serious. We should probably listen to that. So they're just gonna let him do his thing, and it doesn't say, but I'll let you decide how that ends. And they're gonna go full hog on the catapult or the trebuchet.
All right. The catapult is going to take 3 extra weeks. They just need to get it perfect.
Yeah,
So
they need to perfect. They're gonna like add on an aiming system, so like they know what precise degree to crank it to hit an exact spot.
All right. Kristan, you get a card now. Oh wait, you get a project first. Project or discovery
Right.
or discussion.
The project is going to be there's going to be some, I guess children going into that seems to be our workforce, going into the woods to try to collect / research the white mist and see if it has any applicability.
Is there any
to their
children
current-
not just for labor but for research?
Yeah, well, they were they were doing the science research before the doctor came and ruined
you're
everything.
right. How many weeks for the children to go look at the white mist real good?
Since there's no experts at all, we're gonna give them 5 weeks.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right. Give Kristan a card. Kristan.
Alrighty. The 5 of clubs. The parish arrives. Who are they? Why have they chosen your community, and for what? Or a small gang of marauders is making its way through the local terrain. How many are there, and what weapons do they carry?
There's so much you could do with that one. The lions could be
know.
returning.
The
Sorry.
lion parish.
Oh, no, that's not what I was thinking, but that is also an option.
Oh, man. So, okay. So, you know these crystals that have been growing?
Yeah.
I think out of the crystals, people start hearing a vroom, 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 vroom.
What?
And one day, like 7 motorbikes just come tearing out. They were hidden in the crystals, and they come ramping off of these crystal spikes into the salt flats, and they tear off into the wilderness. And over the next week, 2 or 3 people have been found with tire marks, dead.
Oh my
Oh.
god. The marauders are more sentient bikes?
More sentient bikes have been slowly building up their forces coming out of the cave.
The
Oh,
wheel
no.
must turn.
The must
The
turn.
wheel must turn.
Oh no. We are running low on people at this point. Okay, that happens. I guess this project failed, so I can erase those project markers. We are now 3 weeks from catapult again. Kristan, do you want to start a project or discovery?
I think
Or even a
having
discussion?
to do with these crystals again. I think they've been growing so much that the children have been having to sort of squeeze to get into the mine. I think one day everyone wakes up, and the children are reporting we can't get in anymore. The crystals have grown over the entrance.
Oh no! Jesus, is a lot of crystals now. All right, that
about
makes
9 months.
sense. So now Sean gets a card.
Yeah.
Sean gets the 6 of clubs.
All right.
Introduce a dark mystery among the members of the community.
There's
Or
so many.
or conflict flares up among community members, and as a result, a project fails.
The only project we have is catapult. We can't let the catapult fail. It's been going for so long.
Okay. Jeez, I don't really know what to do with this one, to be honest. I guess it's gonna be. It's. I think it's funnier if the catapult fails. Honestly,
No! Describe what happens.
people begin desperately debating because half the people working on the catapult, become utterly convinced that the real reason they're building the catapult was to destroy the goddess's face. That's why they were building it. The other half is like, no, we were just going to destroy the bloodstone. The bloodstone's the problem. Both sides eventually escalate to violence, and in the scuffle, some of the tar bombs that are being incendiaries that are being prepped go off and set fire to the catapult.
No.
Oh.
We put so much time into that. It used to be a flamethrower.
So yeah, both groups walk away feeling the other side was completely wrong, and just something's gone off with their memories.
I'm not taking contempt because it was the right thing to do narratively to hurt us like this, but I'm sad.
No, you can
I'm
add
not going
contempt here.
to. It was right. It was right.
It was right. It worked narratively.
Ugh. That catapult. The village put so much into it. Now it's gone.
All right, I'm gonna start a project once everything's took down.
Yeah.
That project is building a boat to take the creek out of town because a lot of people have just kind of given up, and the hope of maybe escaping by river is better than whatever is going on here.
We have reached a point of eldritch horror where people are like, why have we been here for weeks?
Well, it's because we can't leave. Everyone who tries to leave never comes
Yeah,
back.
that's the issue, isn't it? We cannot deal with this. All right, how many
There's
weeks
the
to build a
rub.
boat?
I'm gonna say they literally just tore the roof off some of the houses. It's all very improvisational.
Yep.
And they're used to working with wood, so 2 weeks.
I'm gonna remove a roof from a house. All right. It's your turn. Kristan, you want to give me a card?
All right. All of the leaves are gone from the trees, and a
I
chill
guess I should draw that.
breeze comes down from the faces. It is winter, and the king of spades is here.
So now that we're in winter, when the Queen of Spades is drawn, or the
Nope.
game is over.
Nope, it's the king of spades. It was the first one I drew. The game is over.
The game is over on the first round of winter. I thought it was Queen. Wow.
Holy crap.
Wow. We got 0 turns in winter. I gotta end the game. The Frost Shepherds have arrived. What is the Frost Shepherd? Y'all, it's the Doctor.
Oh no.
The Doctor has been consumed and been reborn. And the last sight the town sees as they are building a boat to flee 1 week from completion is the massive stony form reaching over the horizon. Damn, we're ending on week 1 of winter.
Wow.
The 1 in 13 chance.
I guess
Yeah.
so. What does the doctor do? I'd expected more time. You always think there's gonna be more time. And then your plague doctor, occultist, scientist man who built Jimmy Neutron in a basement becomes a stone god.
I mean, we never found out why the goddesses are weeping. We never found out why there's a storm, and now the doctor's here.
He's solving the problems for us. As he
Yeah.
promised.
Is he stopping the wheel, or is he making sure it turns?
We may
What does that even mean?
Ooh, I got decisions. Why does it give me so much power? I think the last thing anybody remembers is the stone form of the doctor reaching over the horizon. Massive plague doctor face that he has that I didn't expect him to become a serious character when I decided he's a plague doctor. Reaches up, and as everyone cowers trying to get to the rafts to escape as best they can, he picks them up, and everyone wakes up a neighboring village from where they lived. Everyone's shocked to see them. Several people recognize them. The ranger from the beginning of the game sees his family, hugs them, and weeps. And from the outside perspective, no one has been able to reach their town for almost a year now. That they have been blocked off from the rest of the world. And everybody who survived lives happily ever after.
It's rare for this game.
Look, I think everything was going so wrong. This is fine.
And this was a lot of fun. I really hope to do it again. Yeah, I would definitely be a part of a Warhammer 40K or even, God forbid, a Pokemon one.
I'm not gonna do a Pokemon one. Oh God! If anybody watches this and is like, I want to see a Pokemon game of the Quiet Year, if you watch this on YouTube and you want that, push hard. Get your friends to watch this. If this video pops the hell off, I'll do a Pokemon one.
Yeah.
Oh no.
You don't have to be part of it, John.
No. I just don't want you to inflict that upon the world.